I know, I can hear you all in the comments now. Andy, I'm a serious home cook. I don't own an air fryer, but I know that 60% of households do have an air fryer. So maybe you got one as a gift, maybe you moved in with someone and they have one, or maybe there's one hiding under the stairs covered in dust. And I keep having my friends bang on about the incredible steaks they can make in an air fryer. Complete disclosure, I don't have one at home, but I do have one here at the studio. So today, I'm gonna show you 5 recipes I would make if I did actually own an air fryer. So first up, we're gonna make a Cantonese style roast pork belly. And the reason that pork belly works so well in air fryers is because of the huge amount of airflow that you have in them. First things first, we've got a lovely piece of pork belly here, and I got some water boiling. Place it skin side down for 1 minute. The reason airflow is so important when cooking is you just get more heat and it evenly distributes the heat across whatever you're cooking far better. And us chefs love it. We have these things called combi ovens, which have really powerful airflow, and they also have humidity control, which is also super important. After 1 minute, we're gonna flip it over another 30 seconds. Important to note, we're not cooking it here. We're just trying to set the outside, set the proteins. Now we plunge the whole thing into ice cold water. Now it's completely cold. I'm gonna put it onto paper towel and get it super dry. It's really important. A lot of these steps that we're doing here is all about getting the skin dry, which is gonna make us have a much crispier skin. Also, why the air fryers work so well, because it's really dry heat. Okay, we're gonna start on the bottom. We're gonna score the bottom about 1/2 centimeter deep and around 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch wide in a cross formation. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get more surface area for seasoning, and it's also gonna make it easier to portion once it's cooked. Don't forget, this is still a raw product, so treat it like a raw product, okay? It's very easy to kind of mix that up. So we're gonna make our little seasoning mix up. In a bowl, we're gonna mix together salt, sugar, garlic powder, Chinese 5 spice, and white pepper. We're gonna use some Shaoxing cooking wine as our binder. Just pour that all over, and then we're gonna season liberally. Get in between all those gaps. Please bind the gut. Get the sides too. We just don't really wanna get the top. We're gonna pat the skin dry again, and then we are gonna use one of these wild looking things to puncture a whole bunch of holes in the top. If you don't have one of these, you can just use some skewers holding them tight together. It'll do the same job. All we're trying to do is pierce the skin. So what the holes do is they create a space for the steam to come out from the fat when the fat starts rendering under the skin. So that's gonna give you crispier skin. The moisture is what we're trying to avoid here. We're just trying to pierce the skin here. We're not trying to go into the muscle or the fat. That sounds gross. Okay, we're gonna boat this piece of pork. What that means, we take a piece of foil, you wanna double it over so it's nice and thick. Place it on your tray. Put your pork on it. What you want is your pork skin all at the same level if you can. Just kind of like prop it up a bit if you can. You'll see some people, and we might do it here actually, see there's a big divot here. We want this to rise up a little bit. Rise up. So I'm gonna get another piece of foil with clean hands. Prop that up with another piece of foil so it's nice and even. Now fold all your sides up tight to the pork, and fold your corners over so that the foil is completely surrounding it and it's just the skin that's showing. So why do we do this? Well, we do it because what we're trying to do is capture the rendered fat that comes from the pork and effectively confit the bottom of the pork while we've still got a nice dry top. Season it lightly with salt. You don't need heaps, which will also effectively dry brine the skin. It'll bring more moisture out overnight in the fridge, and then we can pat it dry tomorrow. And that's where this thing's going, in the fridge, uncovered overnight. And through the power of YouTube, here's one I prepared earlier. So we'll get you guys in nice and close here. We can see the skin's dry, the salt's completely gone. We're not even gonna need to pat this dry. It's completely dry. If there was any moisture on this at all, get a paper towel and get that dry. But that is fine like it is. To the air fryer. Words I thought I would never say. All right, we're gonna cook this for 45 minutes at 160 degrees, but we're gonna preheat our air fryer first. Worth mentioning, you can do this in the normal style kind of basket one. Just make sure that the pork will fit in it. And if you don't have a tray that doesn't fit, just put it in the boat and then put it on top of the rack that's in the bottom of the air fryer. So it's been going for 45 minutes and it's looking good. Now the positive thing on an air fryer compared to an oven is that that would have taken an hour and a half, maybe longer to get to this point. So now we're gonna turn the air fryer up to 200 and we're gonna let it preheat before we put it back in and get this cooked and lovely and crispy. It's ready. Okay, you can stop beeping now. So, we checked it after 10 minutes. Wasn't quite crisp enough. Put it in for another 5, and it's good to go. I'm gonna pull these sides down a little bit. I'm gonna let it rest for another or 10 to 15 minutes. The skin will get harder in that time, and then we'll come back, chop it up, and have a taste. All right, 15 minutes later, let's have a taste. See how we go. Now, I prefer to cut it upside down. So try and follow those lines that we made at the start and slice through till you get to the fat, and then give it a whack. All right, so that took about half the time it would take in the oven. It's delicious. The meat's tender, the skin's lovely and crispy. Not much to complain about with that. So if you're short on time, or you kind of want to like set and forget something, you don't need to kind of baby it as much as you would in the oven, that air fryer is perfect for you. Wings! You love them, I love them, we all love wings. However, deep fryer oil is a little bit frustrating to deal with in a domestic kitchen, so this avoids that. First of all, in a bowl, we're gonna add some salt, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, dried thyme. Oh no! It's all right, I got it. And the secret ingredient, baking powder. What the baking powder does is it changes the pH level of the skin, which should give you crispier skin, much like you would if you deep fried them. Mix that around. So we've got whole wings, in they go. We're gonna toss them so that they're all covered in that spice mix as evenly as you can. Should be enough there to cover these 8 wings. Make sure you get all the crevices, some seasoning in here. Okay, now we're gonna take our wings, and the outside we want facing down in the baskets. That does a couple of things. It's gonna get crispier skin on the bottom side once we flip them halfway. It also gives us a chance to use any of this leftover seasoning to get into that nook in there, which is quite hard to get into the bowl. So we're gonna spray our wings with a little bit of olive oil. We don't need heaps because there's quite a lot of fat under the skin of chicken wings. So just give it a little light spray to the air fryer. So our air fryer is preheated to 200. We're gonna put them in there for 20 to 25 minutes in total. We'll check them and flip them after about 12 minutes. All right, while that's happening, let's make some sauces. Okay, hot sauce to toss our wings in. So 1 clove of garlic, minced or finely grated. Preferably don't grate your finger in there. So you want a vinegar-based hot sauce, nothing with too much, oh, golly, that went everywhere. Preferably with not too much sugar. I made my own because I'm fancy like that, but you could just use store-bought hot sauce. I think Frank's tends to be the one of choice for most people. Big old pat of butter, Worcestershire sauce, cayenne for a bit of extra dry heat, and some vinegar. Okay, we're gonna put this on the heat, medium heat. Just bring it to a simmer until it's all kind of homogenized together, my favorite word, and set it aside. Homogeny. All right, ranch dressing. Now you could go 2 ways with this. You could go ranch or blue cheese. Kind of like both, to be perfectly honest, but I think ranch is probably the more universal one. We've got mayonnaise, sour cream, buttermilk, garlic powder, onion powder, dried parsley, juice of half a lemon, seeds included, just to annoy Caitlin. And then some chopped chives, some finely chopped fresh dill. Reminds me of pickles, my favorite pickle, dill pickle. Do love a pickle. Give it a mix, and that's good to go. Okay, we're just over halfway. We're gonna pull our wings out. So we're gonna flip them. We're also gonna swap them where they were. So the bottom tray is gonna go on the top and the top on the bottom. Wow, they're already crispy. And this is a hot chef tip, is to use another tray underneath it so you don't destroy your counter. Give it another light spray with oil. Back in. Top on bottom, bottom on top. All right, into a big bowl. Pour over our sauce. Give it a toss. Gentle toss, we don't want them to break apart. You also don't want hot sauce going in your eye. And time to plate. There you go. Buffalo hot wings with ranch dressing, and you don't have 5 liters of oil you gotta deal with. Let's taste the wing. Oh, it's hot. Owie. Honestly, if I got served those in a sports bar, I wouldn't know that they're not deep fried. All right, before you skip away and you go, oh, I don't want to taste any vegetables, let me show you how to turn something healthy into something unhealthy. But delicious. Brussels sprouts, we all love them, or maybe we don't all love them. This will make you love them, I promise. In a bowl, bacon. We're gonna make a dressing. Maple syrup, olive oil, apple cider vinegar, sriracha. Shake it. Bacon, smoky, half the dressing. Give it a toss. Big pinch of salt. Oh no, small pinch of salt. A lot of bacon in there. Into the air fryer. So we're preheated to 200 degrees, and our sprouts go. Bacon on top. All that fat's gonna render out and go all over them and be delicious. In they go, 200 degrees, 9 minutes. We're gonna give them a toss. We're gonna add the rest of that dressing and another 9 minutes after that. All right, so I've actually pulled those out a little bit earlier. So they only took 7 minutes the second time around. So we're gonna pour them out here first, because we want all that lovely dressing from the bottom. Hot tip, a lot of your bacon's gonna fall through your bottom grate. That grate is there for a reason. It's there to create good airflow, but don't lose it. Make sure you get that bacon out. The only other thing I'm gonna add is a bit of flat leaf parsley, just like picked nice and big and whole and chunky. Toss that through, plate it up. There you go, crispy roasted Brussels sprouts with smoky bacon and a really lovely spicy maple syrup dressing. They are delicious. They're like beautifully crunchy on the outside, really nicely cooked in the middle. They've still got a little bit of texture and crunch. I think when you overcook a vegetable like Brussels sprouts, that's when people don't like them. Also helps that they're covered in sugar. That's a recipe that'll make a Brussels sprout hater love Brussels sprouts. Delicious. Now, one of the things that air fryers are very good at is heating up leftovers. The link above for a reheating video that we did a while ago, worth a watch after this. But it's also good for cooking whole dishes like this. So, double whammy. I'm gonna show you how to make a lasagna in an air fryer, and then I'm gonna show you how to make one of my favorite snacks of all time growing up, the lasagna topper. So, the good thing about this is if you wanted to, say, make a whole bunch of these and put them in the freezer, you're going away, you still wanna feed the family, that type of thing, do them in these like little foil tins, line them with paper, and then start with bechamel on the bottom. I know that's not conventional, but you'll understand why later. You don't need heaps, but because we're gonna make lasagna toppers on this, you don't want the red sauce on the bottom, or when you fry them, once they're crumbed, it goes everywhere. In goes our lasagna sheet. Now, it's at this point, it's good to just kind of get your paper all set up nicely, and then the building will be pretty easy. Now we go in with our meat sauce, bechamel. These lasagnas are also good if you have one of those, or in Australia, there's a lot of like four-wheel driving. Lots of people love going camping and four-wheel driving. And a lot of people have a little like oven in the back of their car. These are perfect for that too. Make some of these, freeze them down, take them in your freezer or in your chest fridge even. They'll take 24 hours to defrost and they'll last for a few days in the fridge too. Shove them in your camp oven. Delicious. Lasagna at the camp once you've been wheeling all day. Okay, so the final layer is the pasta sheet. Some bechamel so that the pasta doesn't dry out. Now, if you're gonna make the recipe that's linked below, just make sure you remember that recipe will make 2 of these. Now, you wanna tuck this in if you can. Some more mozzarella, because cheese is always a good idea. All right, so we're gonna carefully lower it into our air fryer basket. So there we go, 150 degrees for 40 minutes. And through the power of YouTube, we made this one yesterday, and then we put it in the fridge and we weighed it down a little bit. And what you get is a lovely lasagna. Now the fun part, we're gonna turn this into lasagna toppers. You can make it specifically to make lasagna toppers, or if you have a bit of leftover lasagna because you didn't eat it all, you can turn your leftover lasagna into a lasagna topper. Let me show you how. So turn it upside down. Now you can be chefy like I'm gonna be, and I trim the edges. Now you definitely still eat the edges, don't throw them out. You could also just kind of cut pieces from that, but I like things nice and straight. Now we're just gonna cut slices, roughly 1.5 to 2 centimeters thick. And then just the classic crumbing. So into flour, dust off any excess, into egg and breadcrumbs. I hate crumbing things. It's the messiest job in the kitchen. I don't know why I always ask you people to do it for me. Well, I guess you're doing it for yourself. I like eating it, I just don't like doing it. So a light spray of olive oil into the air fryer with the oil side down, and another little spray on top. In they go. 16 minutes, 200 degrees. We'll flip them halfway at 8 minutes. Okay, these only took about just over 12 minutes. They are looking good. They are hot. Hot. Now, I highly suggest that you let these cool slightly before you try and eat them. Because if you don't, you will regret it. But there you go. That is Andy's childhood on a tray. We used to get these at a local bakery. Delicious. All right, they've cooled down a little bit. Let's have a taste. Oh, it's so hot. It's so good. It's like the best part of the lasagna on steroids. We all know the best part of lasagna is that crinkle part at the edge. Now everyone gets a big piece of corner lasagna. Delicious. Now, it wouldn't be an air fryer video without some chippies. We're gonna do Chris Young's recipe for this. Apparently, it's incredible. Let's find out. Chris's channel will be linked below if you wanna see the original video. So we got some frozen fat fries. I'm gonna cover them in warm water and leave them for 30 seconds. Now we drain that water off, close our container, and shake! To the microwave for 5 minutes. So why do we put them in warm water? Well, it's gonna defrost the outside, then when we shake them with no water in them, it's gonna rough up the edges in the microwave to fully defrost them, and that way all those ruffled edges are gonna get lovely and crispy once they're in the air fryer. Little drizzle of beef tallow. 200 degrees, 15 minutes. Let's see, are these the world's best air fryer fries? Chris, you've done it again. Delicious. The addition of the beef tallow really helps kind of amplify that real like yummy chippy flavor. Everyone's always banging on about how an air fryer is a healthy option, and I'm sure it can be, but the way to make things taste good is always about adding fat and sugar. Thanks for watching, legends. Like this video if you're getting anything from it. Subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you next week for another recipe. Probably won't include an air fryer though.